Encounter is brought to you by the Broome County Council of Churches, where we connect compassion with needs as we inspire growth with dignity. You'll find us in special places throughout the community. For those who remain hungry, we provide meals. For those who are challenged, we build wheelchair ramps. We comfort those who are ill, minister to those who are confined, and we remain an advocate for change and understanding on behalf of every element of our community. Connect and inspire. Encounter the Broome County Council of Churches.
Hello and welcome to the Encounter program. My name is Rev Rachel Helgeson. I'm the pastor at Northminster Presbyterian Church, and this is a mission and ministry of the Broome County Council of Churches. Today, I'm excited to welcome two guests today from the Ethiopian Partnership, Diane Vanderbergh and Junietta Brookes. Junie is one of the parishioners at my congregation, and Diane lives out in the Green area, and they know each other through this wonderful mission and ministry where folks from the Presbyterian Church, not just within our own region, but there is a large contingency in the Southern Tier, help and partner with churches, Presbyterian churches in Ethiopia. And one need that came up particularly very recently was masks. Now you're probably wondering, aren't we just starting to take our masks off? Why would that be a thing? Well, in other countries, the vaccine has not gotten as much play as it has in the United States. And also, masks are not as readily available. So what I would like to do is turn it over to both Junie and Diane and talk to them about how this all started, what it morphed into, and what it will do for the partners in Ethiopia. Would either one of you like to start it off?
Well, I can, because I was at a meeting with the entire Ethiopian mission network across the country, and we found out that someone was going to be returning to Ethiopia, and they were talking about, well, we don't know if we have enough masks to wear when we get there, or if we have to wear them when we get there, or, you know, what the situation would be. And so then that made me think about all the masks that our presbytery and myself and friends from churches around the Southern Tier made masks for those in need during 2020 when we were in the midst of a pandemic. And it was like, oh, wow, maybe we can do this for our brothers and sisters in Ethiopia. And so I just put out the word and said, we need masks. Any mask makers out there still? Can you help us? And it just exploded. The generosity, the willingness, the excitement of helping, you know, our brothers and sisters in another country with just what we went through, knowing that they could be protected and not have to be getting this horrible disease as easily as they probably would have without the mask. It's just been an overwhelming and exciting endeavor for me.
And we had gotten some information from a director of a school over there, and he said it was very, very difficult. The government is saying masks need to be worn, but they don't have them, and they don't have the money to, if they are available, the ones that, you know, you use once, those people don't have the money for that. So this way, with cloth masks, they can wash them and reuse them. And so that was another thing where we saw where there is a great need.
So how many masks did you all end up with after all said and done?
That was like, there was no counting of them because they just kept coming, like on my doorstep by boxes and cases and envelopes and all these kinds of ways of getting them to us. We we had over and above 4,000 masks for sure. It was like overwhelming. And we weren't sure how we were going to get all of them there because we were told we could only do 50 pounds, one suitcase. But that didn't work out that way.
So tell me a little bit more about that. So why 50 pounds, one suitcase to Ethiopia was the original plan?
Well, because Rachel Weller, who was a returning mission worker, was going to be traveling there, and she said she'd be willing to take one suitcase, 50 pounds. That's it, no more, no less. But it turned out to be like the loaves and the fishes. I mean, like they just started multiplying like you would not believe. And this is something I knew that God had a hand in, just because of how many we received. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then we had to figure out how we were going to get these masks to Ethiopia because it was way over 50 pounds. So
what did you all end up doing? Did Rachel Weller end up going to Ethiopia, and did you send it through her one suitcase, 50 pounds to Ethiopia, or did you have to figure something else out?
We ended up sending 5 big boxes of masks. I don't remember the total poundage, but it was quite a bit. And Rachel has not gone yet. There was a medical emergency in her family, so she wasn't able to go when she had planned. But we still have 50 pounds worth for her to take.
Right. And it was, Diane, how long did it took us like 3 hours, I think, to pack up, 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Pack up all of these masks in these 5 boxes, tape them, address them, and make sure we had the custom forms filled out, and take them to the post office and go through all of the paperwork. It took us, quite a few hours to do this, and the postmaster even said this has got to be a divine situation, because it ended up with exactly, I think it was 100 pounds and $1,000, the cost of sending these 4,000 plus masks. There was not a penny over, not a penny less. And no one came into the post office while we were doing all this paperwork.
That's surprising in itself.
Right.
So how, so people came and some people did make masks, and did some other people donate masks that they had? And how did you fund shipping $1,000 worth of masks to Ethiopia? How did that come about?
Well, we did have a donation from one particular church in the Presbyterian that was earmarked to help send the masks. Didn't cover it all, but it was a big help. So, and we do get donations through the year. So, it wasn't like we had to raise the money right then to send the masks. So we were lucky in that respect.
The masks came from everywhere, though. People would coordinate meeting times to get them to me, up and down 81 and I-88 and across from the eastern part of the Presbyterian. They would meet, different places, and they would eventually get to me boxes and boxes of them. I know the time I went up 81 north to Cortland, I had to put the back of my SUV down, the seats down, in order to bring back all the masks from that area.
So for folks who aren't as familiar with the Presbyterian Susquehanna Valley, that may not be Presbyterian, how far does that stretch out? Because what I hear is pretty far. So how far was the farthest reach of masks? Where did that come from?
I think we have like a 52-mile radius, so they came from, 52 miles away. People made sure they got to Endwell so we could box them up and ship them to Ethiopia.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and we've been tracking them. Diane has been able to track the boxes, and we heard that they had gotten from here to JFK. They got on a plane and went, I don't know how many stops or how many places, but we did hear that they got to Addis, which is the capital of Ethiopia, and from there now they're being shipped out to Dambidolo, which is about 200 miles west of Addis Ababa, near the Sudan border, west. So that's where they are traveling right now, we hope. Believe me, we will be showing pictures and all kinds of things when we get those masks on those people, our brothers and sisters.
So if you're just joining us, I'm chatting with Junietta Brookes and Diane Vanderbergh, and they are part of the Ethiopian partnership which is the Presbyterian of Susquehanna Valley through the Presbyterian Church USA is part of in partnership with other presbyteries, a couple in Western Pennsylvania. And this ministry has been going on for several years, but this, with the Ethiopian partnership. But the particularity of what they have done is gather and ship a whole bunch of masks to Ethiopia because there was no accessibility for that. And it just started with a little idea and saying, hey, we need help. And as Junietta and Diane said, it was sort of a loaves and fishes moment that started off with an idea and ended up in $1,000 worth of shipping and several boxes on their way to Ethiopia. And they are in Ethiopia, but they're not quite in the place that they're hoping them to be in Dambidolo, and they're still waiting for that. But so far, so good. What I would like to know from you two ladies, though, is how did you get involved with the Ethiopian partnership? And for folks who may not be as familiar with it, what is the Ethiopian partnership? I know those are two huge questions, and you just have a couple minutes to figure that out. But I know that you both have a heart for this, and I think the reason the mask project works so well is because of the enthusiasm and the relationships that have been built over the years. So I'm curious how that has all been and what it looks like now.
No, Jenny, you know about how it started.
Well, it started for me. Just somebody, our former pastor said to me, how would you like to go to Ethiopia? I'm like, oh, okay. When? How? And not knowing that almost 20 years later that I would still be involved with this wonderful partnership. And we are now in the process of writing our new covenant for the next 5 years. We do a 5-year covenant, and we're in the process of writing that. We don't write it by ourselves. We write it with the help of our brothers and sisters, our partners in Ethiopia, because they have, ideas and we have ideas, and we want this friendship to be mutual and loving and agreeable. And so this is what we're in the process of doing right now. So
and I traveled with Junie and a minister from the Presbytery in 2011, and we went over there and spent time, and it was life-changing as far as I'm concerned. It was just incredible.
We've had several trips with our partners going there, and trips that we have sponsored folks from Ethiopia here, and we try to get them around the presbytery when they are here, and when we're there, they certainly take us around to their synods and their churches. And like just recently I received an email from the president of the Senate, and he said that the Mass will be so wonderful for our older members of our congregation because they have nothing. And church is not 5 or 6 people, 10, 12 people like they are here in some of our churches. It's thousands when they come to church on Sunday morning. And these people need to be protected because they're much closer than 6 feet apart and they have nothing. So this has been a wonderful, wonderful experience. And not even being there, you can feel that warmth of this partnership and this need that we've done. It's very exciting.
Yeah, I haven't been to Ethiopia, but I do know before the pandemic, some of our partners had come over to the United States and they had done sort of a tour through our presbytery and through a couple other presbyteries, and that was sort of a renewal of the friendship in a way. I wasn't the only one that met them. I know they met a whole bunch of people, but even just talking to 2 of these leaders of their presbytery and being able to see how deep the roots were between this part of the country in the United States and their parts of the country in Ethiopia, it was amazing. So I can't even imagine what that would be like to see. It's always different, right? When you get to meet the people behind the couple people that you get to meet. And so I'm sure that you have several stories between churches and schools and children and probably relationships that have continued, that helped fuel this, say, okay, we're going to help do this thing. We can't go over right now to Ethiopia, but we can certainly send masks, right?
Right. Diane, do you want to tell about some of the different things that we do help sponsor through our partnership? We are educational minded area in Dembidolo, and we feel because we have education, we have the colleges and universities in our area in the presbytery, we feel that this is a very mutual partnering that we can do because of education. And so in Dembidolo, on the compound, there are 3 schools that we do help provide, some funds for or some scholarships for. So there's a kindergarten. There is also a elementary school, which is called Barani Jesus. There is a high school, which is Bess. And we also have a theological seminaries, also college, that is sponsored that's there in Dembidolo. And we do help send funds and we do some scholarships for different students there. And this year we found out that the graduating class from the theological school had more women than men, oh, wow. Which is very unusual. Yeah. So, and there is a rural education project that we do that's education in a shoebox. It's sort of kind of compact and in a shoebox, and all children can learn that way, even if they can't get into a school.
Diane, are there any other things that the partnership helps sponsor?
There's also a women's ministry. When we had a group of people go in 2014, and they saw what one particular woman was trying to do to uplift other women and give them something to do to help support their families. And so we also each year do support them and do what we can to help them.
It's wonderful. So friends, if you're just caught the tail end of our show, this is the Encounter program through the Broome County Council of Churches. And my name is Rev Rachel Helgeson. I'm the pastor at Northminster Presbyterian Church in Enville, New York. Usually people know it as the church across from me in Enville High School. But I've been speaking with Junietta and Diane about the Ethiopian partnership that has been a meaningful ministry and partnership. Presbyterian Susquehanna Valley, which is the presbytery that my congregation and several congregations from here all the way out to Bovina, New York, belong to, had a long history with, and both of these ladies have been part of in different ways, through reminding folks here in the United States, and particularly in the New York area, about our partners in Ethiopia and what their needs are. We'll also remembering mutuality in that, and saying, you know, we don't know everything. Let us know how we can do this together, and have invited Ethiopian partners to come to the United States pre-pandemic, and hopefully at some point again, and to talk to folks here who aren't able to travel. But both Junietta and Diane have been there and have met the folks on the ground, and their passion to do the masks came out of just knowing people and seeing the need and hearing that they needed masks. When we are starting to wind down a little bit, there are other places in the world that still have a deep need, and that we can share. And as Junietta and Diane said, it turned into a loaves and fishes moment, but also an act of friendship through brothers and sisters across the world to say, we see you, we know how scary this is, and let's help each other out as best as we can. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about the Ethiopian partnership, you of course can call Northminster, and I can connect you with Junietta, or you can contact the Presbyterian Susquehanna Valley, and they can connect you either with Diane or Junietta or some other leaders of the Ethiopian partnership, whether it's through financial funds or wanting to eventually, whenever borders start to open back up again, to be able to visit and travel, or to help in any other way. I know that they would appreciate that, and what a meaningful thing that just started with somebody saying, hey, would you like to do this? And for both Junie and Diane, and it turns into something way more than anyone could imagine. Thank you both for joining me on the Encounter program, and blessings to you all who have tuned in today. We're grateful for you as well. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Before we go, here's another look inside the Greater Good Grocery, new to Binghamton's North Side. It's part of the outreach of the Broome County Council of Churches. Our Encounter team visited shortly after the store opened, but we want to catch up with store manager Jack Seaman to see how things are going now.
So the north side of Binghamton for the last about 25 years has been what you'd call a food desert, meaning that there's no access to a grocery store. And we are proud to be standing right now actually in the Greater Good Grocery Store, which is run by the Broome County Council of Churches, and all of the proceeds actually roll right back into the Council of Churches to support its existing programs like CHOW, Faith in Action, jail ministries, and hospital ministries. We're very fortunate to actually partner with a very successful program in Utica, New York called Bargain Grocer. It's a nonprofit grocery store that's been in operation for over 12 years now, and the model is very similar to the relationship that we have with the Council of Churches. All of the food is purchased. We do not sell donated food, and of course anybody can shop here.
What's your assessment of how things are going?
So things are going pretty well over here on the north side. We're really excited to be in the community, to get to know the community, learn their needs, and really have them take ownership of this grocery store.
Sales have been what you expected?
Yeah, you know, it's not ideal opening in the middle of a pandemic, but you know, where we are right now is pretty much where we expected to be, and we're really hopeful that things are going to pick up. The community is going to really just receive this grocery store very well, and then of course the rest of the community hopefully will make use of this grocery store as well. Yeah, so you know, as the weather changes, as the season changes, different produce items are available. So definitely, our produce is going to be seasonal. We're going to have certain things in stock that maybe we wouldn't normally be able to have at other times of the year. So we're really excited to partner with different distributors, different farmers, different growers to offer that to the community.
And where does the fresh food come from?
So we actually, most of the produce that we have in the store does come from Bargain Grocer in Utica. Absolutely incredible prices that we're able to pass along to our customers. Any gaps, we do partner with some wholesalers and some growers as well. So we have a staff of 6 associates, 2 assistant managers, and then a driver who's actually responsible for getting all of the inventory to the store. So not only are we happy to be here on the north side to provide a grocery store and access to affordable items, but we're hopeful that this is going to have a ripple effect throughout all of Broome County. By the profits of this grocery store going into the Broome County Council of Churches, we hope that that's going to enrich the current programs of the council like CHOW, Faith in Action, Jail Ministries, and Hospital Ministries. We are at 435 State Street on the north side of Binghamton in the Canal Plaza housing structure. Our Facebook is just facebook.com/greatergoodgrocery, and that's where you'll find updates of things we have in the store, new items, prices, sales that are going on, and different promotions. So actually our neighbors are Catholic Charities, and actually Binghamton Housing Authority has an office here as well. And our neighbors are absolutely incredible. Right above us we have 48 affordable housing apartments as well. And yeah, we're happy to be in the neighborhood.
When did you think you were going to become a manager of a grocery store?
So I have to be honest with you, growing up, I never saw myself standing where I am now. About 3.5 years ago, when the council started looking into this project, it always just brought such a smile to my face. And originally I was at the CHOW program, but you know, more and more I became involved in it, and I was given the opportunity to take this position, and it's really, really exciting. Definitely very unique work. And I never saw myself in this position, but I'm very grateful to be here.
We've been talking with store manager Jack Seaman at the Greater Good Grocery at 435 State Street, run by the Broome County Council of Churches. Remember, all the proceeds from the Greater Good Grocery go into Council of Churches ministries and programs throughout our area. Hours are Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, and Saturday, 10 to 4, closed on Sunday. Encounter is produced for WBNG TV and for the radio stations of Town Square Media. We invite you to join us next week for Encounter.